by their wives, and I'd say, are you doing what you're told? I mean, anything to start the conversation. At Christmas time, it was so crowded. There were like 14 of us one day in one little section, and I said to everybody, I said, hey, let's see if we can get everybody right here. Okay, they're like, what? And I started directing traffic to get people out of the aisles. Anything to engage people, because people come into the grocery store and they've got their bulletproof personality on. That's their sunglasses and their MP3 player, which is for, don't talk to me. I'm on a mission. I got to get cauliflower. You know, I mean, whatever. My whole thing was, I like to mess people up. I like to just get them talking. And so I would say to people stuff like, how are you today? They'd say, hi. Really? How'd you get there? You know, anything to get them to talk. For Christian people, something that we've got to understand is, we just need to be nice. It sounds silly, but we just need to be friendly to people. Because people are watching us, and it matters how we behave. And not just here. We've got to be sincere, okay? You can bluff people for so long. And when you're at the grocery store, and you come off as, oh, hi, welcome to Publix, that sounds pretty canned. But when it's, hey, where are you guys from? You know, or you hear somebody that's got a very thick accent that's definitely not from the Northeast, that sounds like they're from Georgia, and you can ask them about that. Hey, so did you grow up in Brooklyn? You know, and they're like, what? You say, well, you sound like you're from like the south edge of Brooklyn. I'm from Atlanta. Okay, cool. Anything to get them to talk. Anything. But you have to be sincere. It's not an act. For us, it shouldn't be a facade, and it's not a performance. There's an old saying that says you can con a con, but you can't kid a kid. You ever heard that? This generation, particularly the student generation today, very quick at picking up on things that are phony. Which is why they flip through things. They go, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it, still don't like that. Because they're quick. They make quick judgments. They're not always right. But they can spot a phony pretty quick. And for us, as Christ followers, it's important that we're nice and not just here. You know, we're friends, community church, we better be friendly. You know, I mean, because we've kind of set it out there that we're going to be friends, right? But it matters how we act at the grocery store, and it matters how we act at the restaurant. My wife and I, before we had kids, we were at a restaurant after church one day called Bill Knapp's. And this lady came to our table, and she was our waitress, and she said, I hate working Sundays. I said, why? She says, because church people are cheap. Why? They're cheap. All these church people, they don't tip. And I thought, all right, well, we'll see what happens. So I left her like way too much tip. And it went back the next week. She came running to our table. All for a few bucks? What a reputation that is for us to have to overcome. You know, that we're cheap? Why should we be cheap? You know, I mean, we got money for everything else. It matters how we act, and it matters that we're friendly, and not just here. I was working one day in aisle 2, so that's where I lived, and this girl at work, she's a lady, not a girl, she's a lady, her name is Mirabella. And Mirabella is from Puerto Rico. And Mirabella speaks with a very, very heavy Spanish accent. Okay? Now, if you are Hispanic, I apologize ahead of time because my Spanish isn't real good. Okay? But this is what she said. She came up to me, she says, Paul, can I ask you a question? Sure. What size is your shirt? I said, what? She goes, what size is your shirt? I said, it's a large. Why? No. What size is your shirt? I said, Mirabelle, I'm sorry. I can't understand what you're saying to me. What size is your shirt? Have you ever noticed when one person speaks one language and the other one speaks it, it's slower and louder like you're going to get it, right? And after I said, Mirabelle, I don't understand. She goes, what size is your shirt? And I said, can you find somebody else? So she goes and finds another person who I can't understand. And she turned around and she says, what's the name of your church? And I told her. And she said, oh. And she started to walk away. And I said, Marabella, come here. How did you know that I went to church? It was easy. I said, well, how'd you know? She said, I could see it in your face. She said, you're a Christian, aren't you? I said, yeah. I could tell. So I don't care what size my shirt is. It mattered what was on my face to her. And that's what I want to tell us. Tell your face. Tell your face that you're redeemed and that you're saved and you have eternal life and you've been forgiven and you have joy. Tell your face, because people are watching. And they don't care what size your shirt is. They care what your face says. You know, I'm extremely happy to be married for 25 years. And I love my wife. Really? Tell your face! It doesn't look convincing. And people are watching us. And they want to know about our face. And this is the ultimate extreme makeover. Right here. We have every reason as human beings to be discouraged and depressed because we're alienated from God because of the things we've done. And yet God comes in and wipes it all away. That should transform our face, not just our heart. There's a story about some guys in the gold rush that they had been working and working and working, never found a thing, and all of a sudden they found some gold. And these three guys worked really, really hard. They got as much gold as they could, and they decided they were going to go into town and have dinner. And they made a pact to say, we will tell no one anything that has happened. I'm in. They all agree. They go in, they have dinner, they go back out to the mine, and there's hundreds of people following. How do we know? We could tell by your face. They could tell about these three guys that they had hope, and that they had some excitement and enthusiasm. They couldn't wait to get back out there. That same should be for us. When we head back to school or work on Monday, we should have an enthusiasm. We get to come here to find the gold. But you got to go out there and let them see it. Let them see it by your face. The second thing that I'd like for us to talk about from Publix is entitled Walk This Way, and some of you are already singing the song. Here's what this means. We all know that when men travel and they're driving with their families on vacation and they get lost, they will never ask for what? Directions. That's not true at the grocery store. Okay? This is one place where men ask for directions. Let me give you this is what happens when a man walks in a grocery store. Ready? I've watched. They walk in and they go, because they have lost the list. Okay? They don't have a list. The next thing you see is they pull out their phone and they're going. And it's like they want to go hide, like they're so embarrassed, like, oh, she's going to kill me again. Okay? They finally get what they need. They get their cart and they come in and they go like this. And they go up and down every aisle, trying to find something simple like bread, where the sign says bread right there. Okay? Men will come in, they'll ask where things are because they usually want to get in and get out. I was asked where grape leaves are. I didn't even know grapes had leaves. Right? So I learned a lot of things. But men will ask for directions at the grocery store because they want to get in and they want to get out. I'm standing in aisle 6 one day, which is where I got transferred. Aisle 6 is salad dressings and seasonings, and that's where you find the sugar and the pickles and the Jell-O. And I hate Jell-O. I will never eat Jell-O again in my life. You touch one box, they all fall. It's horrible. It's no good. I'm standing there, and this lady walks in, and she was rather short, and she said to me, you know, I'm putting stuff on the shelf, and she says to me, could you help me reach that? And I said, sure. Dumb question. The other one was, do you know where the pickles are? Yeah. Okay, it's not the right question to get directions. Well, what happens is people would walk in, and at Publix, if somebody asks you where something is, you have to walk them to it. Even if it's on the other end of the store. Even if it's the busiest day of the year, you have to walk them over there. Now imagine that somebody comes to me and they're looking for something that's very small. Like seasoning, for example. And I said to them, oh, it's in aisle 6. Well, aisle 6 is pretty big when you're looking for this. Okay? And what they're looking for is customer